Okay, and we're rolling. What is up, Darius? Welcome to the first episode of. I still don't have a name for my podcast, but we're just gonna roll anyway.
That's fine. We'll come up with it. Happy to be here.
How's it going? How are you?
All good as always. How's it going with you?
Yeah, not bad. Grinding, working, giving my soul to my company, which is something I highly advise against. But I
Advice
hear you.
against. Okay.
Yeah. No, I suppose uh, here's how my mindset has shifted.
Mm,
For a long time, if you follow me on my Instagram, which I know you do,
yeah.
is my mentality was always I never understood being an entrepreneur. I was like, oh yeah, but I really enjoy the corporate life. I really enjoy kind of climbing the corporate ladder and having so many successful people around me and learning from them and trying to like get a piece from this guy, piece from that guy. And it's actually like the book that you gave me, Mastery. I just
Yeah.
finished it recently, by the way.
By Robert Greene. Yeah.
Unfortunately, took too long to read it, but I love that book, and I really kind of relate to it because I was in that surrounding with certain mentors, and that's why that element of it I totally agree with. Kind of grinding the corporate life, kind of killing yourself and trying to climb the corporate ladder. But then later on in my career, I reached the point which I didn't think I would reach, and I thought I finally understood the kind of idea of being your own boss. I saw the value in it. I'm not there yet, but now I kind of want to put all my energy because a light bulb just clicked. I was like, look, I'm killing myself right now. Fair enough. I've learned tremendous things. I've got some tremendous experience, but I'm killing myself right now to put money in someone else's pocket. I still have to answer to the person above me. As much as I respect them, and with a shift in like dynamics, like the company that I worked for got acquired by another company, and suddenly that whole mentor environment that I had, the owners sold the business and they left. So now I'm faced with a different challenge, which is I've got this other kind of line manager, let's say, which has tremendous experience as well, but unfortunately we don't click, and I don't have that same sense of leadership. So for that reason, I was like, if I'm unhappy, you can do a few things. You can complain about it, you can keep showing up to work and being depressed about it, or you can actually make something happen. So I'm in the
Mhm.
position where I've said, all right, I'm going to put my chips down. Now, for the next chapter, at the moment, for those of you that do know, I've handed in my notice to leave my job after 3 years. Now, you might say 3 years is not a long time. Actually, this is going up until 3 years. 3 years might not be a long time, but for this company, it's a really long time, 3 years. So now it's a matter of trying to decide what I want to do next and kind of taking that risk. And honestly, since I've made that decision, since I've handed in my notice, which is something what I urge people to do if they're unhappy, is to hand in your notice, kind of risk it and see what comes up next. I mean, you have to do something. I've got some plans already in place, and we'll see where I get to. Anyway, that's enough about me. um, I want to dive into your brain because you have some expertise in certain areas, which I really love talking to you about. So
Mhm.
I thought it'd be very valuable for an audience, no matter how many people, to kind of hear what you have to say on this. Um, First, tell me, what are you doing right now? What stage in life are you at?
Well, on the surface, I'm writing the conclusion of my thesis. So that's my main focus at the moment. It's just writing the conclusion, and when the conclusion is done, I'm gonna wrap up the thesis by just going back to all the chapters. My PhD thesis has 7 chapters. So
Quickly though, what's your PhD on? Like, give everyone, what are you doing?
the PhD is basically understanding luxury fashion consumption by considering marketing, sociology, a bit of psychology, and economics to
Okay,
understand luxury fashion consumption. So basically, these are the disciplines that I'm incorporating to understand luxury fashion consumption better.
nice. So
Yeah.
luxury fashion consumption, and what kind of drew you towards this? What made you decide to go down this route?
Self experience, I think, as a person who was born and raised in Dubai and then moved to the UK, um, it's something that whether you want it to or not, especially in the social groups I hung out with, you come across it. So yeah,
Yeah,
so it was really weird for me because I'm a person who really sees certain stuff purely logical. And from how I see things, I could not digest why would you pay certain amounts for a fabric or a material, regardless of how amazing it's designed or the quality is. I know I would pay a certain amount for that, but there are amounts that, come on, man, you can buy a second-hand car with this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So it was interesting. What makes people pay for this? Like,
Yeah,
what it's so that was basically what drove me towards it. And moving to UK and seeing how it's different, the value is different. It was not appreciated in the same way in the social groups I hung out with in the UK compared to Dubai.
absolutely.
That
I've seen
made it
that difference.
that that brought the element of culture in it.
Yeah,
So again, that gave my research a comparison nature as well.
I really appreciate that, and I've noticed that difference because, um, so here's my understanding of it, and I'm
Mhm.
explaining a dumb version. You obviously know the more technical kind of
There is no
psychological
down
background.
version.
Um, what I see is, so in the Middle East, let's say Dubai as an example, somewhere that we
Mhm.
both grew up, is you kind of get valued. You've got all these little cues to kind of prove what type of social or financial class you're in. The financial class you're in kind of defines whether, in a male's case, the opposite sex will kind of be interested in you.
Mhm.
Whereas in the UK, it's not the same case so much. It's more people care about, okay, I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care what like your shirt says or anything. What have you got to tell me? What interesting conversations have you got? What's your personality like? Are you someone I'm going to get along with? I don't care how much money you have, you know, like end of the day, there's always going to be a crowd that are attracted to money. But the whole kind of, in my opinion, the backing behind the movement of like people going more towards that luxury fashion, especially in Dubai. And again, I'm speaking in on not on behalf of the males, but like from the male's perspective, is that when you kind of go by that luxury fashion, automatically you're saying, look, guys, I belong to this financial class. So automatically I am more attractive than the person there that's not wearing this because I can give you financial security. Am I right?
Yeah, that's definitely. And the thing is, while I was listening to you, just an experience popped in my head that I never thought of it in the past few years that I've been working on my PhD, and that's an experience I literally was in Mall of the Emirates. There was one of these Iranian guys that we both know, and I remember I had a T-shirt. It was purple. I liked the color. I just liked what was on the T-shirt from Splash. It was cheap. I just bought it because I liked it. And I remember I was having this purple T-shirt on, and then I was literally standing where the cinema was in Mall of the Emirates. The guy literally took my shirt, did that, and and is like, "Oh, you wear Splash." Well, obviously, Splash wasn't a brand, but there was a certain brand that was sold in Splash, but I can't remember
Yeah,
what it was. But it was, you could tell it won't be more than 50 dirhams at that time or 10
yeah.
pounds.
Which is, yeah,
So
I was about to
yeah,
say equivalent
yeah,
like £10.
exactly. So that's definitely subconsciously drove me to understand what are the underlying perceptions behind how you value something.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, to me, it's why would you value someone based on what they're wearing, what they have?
yeah. So again, like I'm sure there's people like one of our friends, Yasha, shout out Yasha, who is he's
Yeah, actually.
actually become quite well versed into like psychological behavior and whatnot.
Mhm.
But like for someone like me to kind of dumb it down again, I see it as this way. It's like if you look at the caveman days, you know, I forgot which podcast I heard this on, but they were like, why are women attracted to taller men, for example? And it's because like going back to those days, a taller man meant more chance of survival. Now I don't know if that still carries over to this day, but generally people, you know, tend to go for the taller man. So I feel in 2021 or even before 2021, the last 10, 20 years, however years you want to say, um, it's indirectly or like subconsciously rather, um, financial class makes you think of kind of security. So you automatically think of security. So I feel like for males to go, and again, this is not, I don't want to generalize everyone. This is just a kind of idea. Now it's subjective, but this is what I think. But people can like the male mind can kind of say, look, I can, and this is one big issue with Dubai, I can skip a lot of small talk. I can skip the maybe lack in confidence. This is only a partial amount of people. There's plenty of people, myself included, and plenty of other people. I like Ralph Lauren. I will always wear Ralph Lauren. Maybe it's some form of brand loyalty, you could say. But there's a clear difference, and this is the topic I'm about to get to, between wearing a luxury brand and wearing a luxury brand head to toe. Like, I mean, screaming it, showing everyone, look, this is it. If you didn't notice, this is all Burberry, this is all Louis Vuitton, this is all Gucci. And that's quite interesting. So that's the first thing I actually want to dive into. So I feel like partially it might be to skip the small talk, perhaps a confidence area where you're like, I don't need to have the confidence, or it gives you a confidence boost, rather not having the confidence, but rather getting that extra confidence by saying, because I have all this on, I automatically belong to the social and financial class. So I'm already 10 times more confident when I walk into a room. I mean, my mindset, we spoke a couple of years ago when you were starting your thesis. And I said, like, my mindset at that point was, if you really think about it and you take a step back, when you walk into a party and you are the best dressed, or like you're wearing the more luxury brands, naturally you start thinking, hey, I can afford more than these people. You might not think that way day to day, but that thought might pop up. Then for some people, like I said, it's brand loyalty. But generally, here's what I want to dive into. New money. That's what I like to describe it. So the first kind of thing I notice is that people that seem to be well off, or have been well off for some time, they're not too bothered. They'll wear a brand because they're loyal to that brand, or they like a design or something. New money, people that have recently acquired wealth, from what we've both seen, tend to have more of a kind of knack to wear head to toe and make sure everyone understands, and make sure their fashion screams that it's high luxury brands. And that is quite interesting to me, the division. And the second topic I'm going to dive into is why old money, the people that have been wealthy since whenever, try and choose the more subtle brands that, like, they're very expensive and they're actually brands that you don't see everywhere. So it's quite interesting to see that difference. Whereas, like, the more money you make, you want it to be more subtle. You don't want it to scream, to say, oh, I'm wearing like Burberry, for example. That is a ridiculous, not ridiculous, it's nice to some people, it's a loud brand. Whereas, like, the new money is like, I'm going to go for that. And the old money is going to say, no, I'm not going to wear Burberry. I'm going to wear something way more subtle. What are your thoughts on the new money element?
I think fashion is essentially a form of expression. So new money, if I want to look at it, it's the reason they want to scream is that they're shouting that they have arrived. It's a sign of arriving to a certain point in life.
That's nice. Yeah.
It's, I have arrived here. I can afford this. You need to express, and fashion enables you to do that. And especially when it's financial, luxury fashion helps you do that, express yourself. And actually, there are terms for this in academia. So these products, the line of products, they're called loud products. For example, imagine you wear a top that has Gucci logo on it. That's called a loud product. And then there are products that other brands have, even Gucci had, which are more subtle, more discreet in displaying the brand logo. Those are called silent products. And usually people who've been well off for quite a while go for those. And I think the reason is that they've been there. They have arrived there for a while, so they don't feel the urge to express. So that's why they don't need to shout like, yeah, we have it. Subtle. You don't need to know why we're Gucci. Those who need to know would know, because those are the people I want to engage with. Because again, end of the day, there's a paradox in luxury fashion consumption, which is simultaneously, while you want to distinguish from others, you want to belong to a certain social class. And this happens simultaneously at the same time. So that's how I see it. And that's what my data actually says. So those type of consumers that go for loud products, I don't want to generalize, but based on what I gleaned from what you said, are categorized as inconspicuous consumers that prefer discreet. They're conspicuous consumers that those are the ones who arrive and wanna shout and say, "Oh, I got this."
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Um, One interesting thing, by the way, on that is
Mhm.
I've noticed. So, first of all, full disclosure, I'm by no means a millionaire, but as I've been doing
But I
better
know
in my
some.
career, as I've been doing better in my career, so I
Yeah.
found out like previously, probably Heerbz from 2 years ago was more focused on luxury brands, whereas now the more, even though I make more money than I did 2 years ago, I find I don't like spending money on luxury brands, and I get this automatic guilt. Like, wait a second, I'd rather invest this money. Why am I paying for something? Fair enough. If something looks good, I'll get that all day. But why am I paying a certain amount of money for this clothing, where I can be doing investing that money? It's like that automatic. I mean, that's my personal kind of view, but I just feel like I don't have the urge to spend on expenses as much as I have the urge to spend on an asset now. So it also leads to that subtle argument. It's like I find that I don't want to kind of buy things that are quite loud and say, look, again, I hate to keep using the Burberry example, but
Yeah.
like Burberry, that's like quite loud and out there, or like even another one like Gucci, for example, slightly more subtle, but still pretty loud. Um, I'm not leaning towards that direction where it's like, for example, a personal favorite brand of mine, which has been destroyed socially over the years. Thank you, Chavs. I've always loved Lacoste.
I know.
It's been like, I don't know, I just love that design. I love the polos. I think they look amazing. And I'll continue to buy them no matter how crap their reputation gets because of Chavs. But it's that subtle element that I like. I don't like the loudness in it, but I don't know if subconsciously I'm saying like, oh, I've been here, because I definitely haven't been here. It's been more of a progress of uh, building wealth and like climbing the corporate ladder and like doing
Mhm.
better financially to reach this stage. But I've definitely felt that interest in the loudness drop in my career. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's really, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's exactly what I explained in the previous thing. It's just your personal psychosocial experience of it, and that's you 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You displayed through your items to your social groups that I have arrived,
Yeah,
but that's expressed, that's out. Like you got it out of your system. Now you move to the next stage. Now the only thing that matters is the numbers. You know, so whether you express it or not, the priority in your head is the numbers to go up. So you don't need the filter to show that you're somewhere. You just want to get somewhere. You want to get higher. You don't
yeah,
care if
exactly.
people
I'm trying to
know it
get
or
somewhere.
not, because that's because your confidence within, not external, within has built up that you don't
Right.
need anyone to confirm you. You're not
Yeah.
seeking conformity because you're there already. You've been there for a few years. So you
Yeah.
don't need to express it. You just want to get higher.
Fair enough. Um, on that, a related topic again. This is very
Mhm.
close to home for both of us,
Yeah,
which we've been to enough parties over the years to
yeah.
see is one key culture that stands out in this discussion is the Iranian culture, and I you will still see like people like again, I don't want to generalize. Everyone's different, but like what we've mostly seen is uh, the Iranians that we've grew up with in Dubai. Again, not everyone, but a good portion of them, they tend to go more towards the luxury brands now. And I'm talking about the loudness. Now, my question is this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but do you feel that I know, like you made a really good argument about like I have arrived, but do you feel it also makes up, and this is just a question I have, do you feel it also makes up, especially for new money and new Iranian money, do you feel buying like the top range of everything kind of makes up for a lack of personality, or is it strictly to say I have arrived?
think lack of personality is a very strong word. I wouldn't say personality. I would say confidence or insecurity or something that would replace confidence, you know. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything it has to
Yeah,
do with
that's actually
your
good.
personality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
corrected me better then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps confidence, yeah. But in terms of, again, in terms of, because I'm just imagining if anyone from an academic point of view use this, I have to make sure I use the correct words. And when we say culture, in Iranian culture, the definition of culture, in at least in the context of consumption, is shared meanings and values.
Yeah.
So our social groups that shared similar meanings and values, who tend to be Iranian, not tend to be, who are Iranian, who happen to be Iranian, uh, it's within that collectivist culture of us to impress others. It's
Yeah.
just living to the standards of others. This is something we culturally experience, from our refrigerator to washing machine to sofas to everything we have. Oh, Auntie Folani has that, you know. Oh, we must get the same or better. You know, this is something in us, and
It's that sense to kind of say,
yeah,
I'm better than you. Like
yeah.
always wanting to make that kind of declaration.
And the thing is, especially if we're talking Iranians on a whole, at least Iranians I encountered it, um, that's they won't say it straightforward. They would say it in a very, very indirect way. They'll say complete opposite, but that's what they mean. I'm better than you. They'll say completely something different, but that's what they mean. I'm better than. Like, imagine you say, "Oh, I bought this, blah blah blah. I got Pepsi." No, but the Coke I got was better.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's.
that's that's actually such an important topic, by the way.
Mhm.
Just the whole kind of I was describing, I don't know if I told you this story, but so when I was in Turkey recently,
Yeah.
I met someone that just uh, an acquaintance of a family member,
Mhm.
and I've never met. I mean, I've throughout our lives. Look, I'm 30 years old now, so you can say I've spoken to a fair amount of people throughout my whole life,
Mhm.
but I've never spoken to someone that has been so shit at conversations. And unfortunately, he happens to be Iranian. No, it's you want to combine someone that isn't able to listen. Okay, we've all had bad listeners that we've spoken to, people that constantly interrupt you when you're trying to tell a story. Okay, that's the first thing. Then it's exactly the element of what you said. It's like I could say, look, I could say, I don't know, this phone is black, and he would say my phone is blacker. Like it was the constant response of I've got one up over you. It's like, but I'm not even trying to show off about anything. I'm trying to say, look, this is what I think of this current situation. Yes, but my situation's better. The need to kind of express this on a regular, and I'm not exaggerating, like on a regular basis. Then it got me thinking, it's like, okay, this person's not the first person like this that I've seen. Unfortunately, the majority of the people like this I've seen happen to come from Iran. It's that thing that you're describing. It's like I need to say, I need to demonstrate that I'm better than this person verbally. I cannot accept that this person might have a pen that looks better than my pen.
Yeah,
Ridiculous,
that's
right?
it is, and the thing is, again, back to luxury fashion consumption, social standing plays a strong part, and this social, because of the power hierarchy or the social classes, luxury fashion consumption is the manifestation of people's social competition, and
Yeah,
some people take it too serious that they get distracted from what it actually resembles. You know, like
yeah.
they're too busy saying I'm better than you, that the craft gets lost, the brand gets lost, everything is just about me, I'm better than you. And that's where I think our culture needs a huge. Uh,
I was about to say
I
that.
mean, I'm too little to talk about the nations with history's culture, but truth is truth, and I think no one would disagree.
Yeah,
Some people would disagree, but we know um, what how Iranians tend to say, "I'm better than you." Like
but
they would do
you
anything
just nailed
primarily
it on the
to say, "I'm
head,
better."
though. You did just hit the nail on the head. Um, do you feel, because I truly feel that, I feel like that is one of the biggest ingredients of what's been holding us back as a nation. This whole kind of I mean, look, they say Persian pride for a reason. I've got it. I'm probably one of the worst cases of kind of being overly confident. It's this feeling of, listen, I am owed everything. My culture is the best. Look, it's got its great moments as well. Everyone loves a bit of confidence, but I also feel, and I felt this on a personal level as well. I feel like my confidence throughout my life, my overconfidence rather, my confidence was great, but my overconfidence stopped me from improving in certain areas, mainly in like just general knowledge. It's always been like so focused on sports where my mindset was, I don't need to read, I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. I'm good as I am. Power to everyone that thinks that way as well, for sure. But then I found myself in a position of like stagnating mentally, where I, by no, it's like you're gymming for your brain. So that since I made that decision that, look, you can never be too good for anything. You know, you're always a student of the game. I've had great improvements in my life by like taking the ego down a peg, you know, still being confident in what I am, you know, who I am, what I do, everything, but not being overly confident. And I truly feel as a nation, this is what we're really lacking. It's that kind of, I belong, I'm here. Whereas like, look, I believe in the history that I have, you know, I believe in myself, but I can always improve. And from an outsider's point of view, I haven't been to Iran since 2010. From an outsider's point of view, from what I see in the youngsters nowadays, this is totally lacking in our country. Even from the older generation, look, I mean, look at, you just have to look at our politics. I love how we're jumping from like fashion to this, but like you look at
Everything
our
is connected.
politics. It's like on the world stage, we act like we are owed so much, partially fair because we've been screwed over so much for sure, but it's also not playing ball with everyone else because we're like, it's either my way or the highway. Yeah, that's it.
It's crazy. I mean, you want to talk about Iran's culture or luxury
Dude, we
fashion
can talk
consumption?
about anything, man. This is like this. So you always say my place is like your place. This is basically it. You're online.
Now it's like my place is your place. Yeah, but the thing is, a country with 80 million people, I prefer not to comment. And then, I mean, it's not like I'm afraid of offending anyone, because you would know I have no obligations in offending people, because I actually don't care. I'm bold in that sense. But I don't think any comments that I could make could contribute in any sense. So I don't think talking about Iran's culture or whatever would help. But in regards to what I know about luxury fashion consumption, I just think it fundamentally narrows down to ego and that I'm better than you, and I couldn't, because I remember once I was in one of the Emirates with two of our mutual friends. Not really friends, but yeah, um,
Acquaintances.
yeah, acquaintance. That's a good word. Associates.
Yeah.
Um, not really associates neither. Anyway, we
What
were
the
in
hell are they then? You're like, they're not acquaintances. They're not
people,
associated.
people that I know that exist.
Two
Uh,
humans.
two humans that I know of their existence that I happen to be in one of the Emirates with. We went to the Christian Louboutin shop, and there was one shoe left for the design that both of them wanted.
Yeah.
And this guy bought it. He's like, because you bought this, I will order online because you bought this. What, Amar, why? Because he
I'm not
doesn't
surprised,
want,
man.
because he doesn't want him to have it and him not have
Yeah.
it.
Um, it
It's, imagine that guy didn't purchase that shoe.
yeah.
There would be no demand. This guy makes a transaction, demand goes up. He wants it as well because he bought it, like primarily. That's. I mean, no judgment. I'm just saying what actually happened.
No, no, of course. There's
Yeah.
no judgment whatsoever. It's just
Yeah.
the whole point of this episode is it's a fascinating thing that I see, and
Hmm.
it's even more fascinating to kind of see how it changes from country to country. Like we said earlier, Me and you've been to like plenty of house parties in the UK when we were in uni, and it's the mindset is totally different to a house party that we went to in Dubai. It's like
Hmm.
the one in Dubai you'd go to. It's like you get scanned head to toe. What are the shoes, trousers, shirt, watch? What's that person wearing? Okay, are they in this class? Can we speak to them? Blah blah blah. In the UK, you walk in, people literally they just care about you as a person. What have you got to say? What's your personality like? Am I going to get along? What ideas do you have? So
Exactly. Yeah.
it's really cool to kind of see that difference.
Yeah.
The area again, it's just my personal opinion. The area I would still like to kind of dive into a bit is not necessarily luxury fashion, but kind of maybe the confidence, the lack of confidence behind it leads to this as well. Is the fact that we are what? We're one of the top countries in the world in terms of plastic surgery. So I
It's
see
definitely confidence.
yeah, I see that so much. And just to clarify, I am all for, if you are uncomfortable about something in your face, do something about it for sure. But what I'm seeing is like people butchering their faces and just completely like reforming everything. It just looks like a different person. And I suppose I'm not criticizing, but I'm questioning. I have a question on like what drives this new culture, and let's call it new culture because this is like what the last 10-15 years that it's kind of peaked, where plastic surgery is an all-time high in Iran. What is driving this to say, look, I best example I can give you is myself again. So naturally I have a very big chin, and I went to, so when I was in Istanbul this time, I went to get my teeth fixed,
Hmm.
and the dentist said, listen, you've got good teeth, your problem is your jaw. If we like had surgery on that and like brought it back, like fix your jaw, your teeth would be perfect. So partially you're like, okay, it's great to do that, but then the other part of me is like, fuck no, like this is my trademark. Like
Hmm.
I just feel uncomfortable with like doing anything to my face personally.
Hmm.
I don't judge anyone that is. And I've had friends that have like operated a small portion of their face, and there's been plenty of improvements, and like power to them. I think certain people, by making certain changes, look 10 times better than they do now. Although I think everyone's beautiful, but what's like people go through in terms of changing every single element of their face is, I suppose, it's something I don't understand, and I want to like connect the dots to that luxury fashion thing. It's like, look, I wear head to toe.
It stems from the same thing.
Yeah, it's. Would you say this is a problem, or would you say it's just? I don't want
I
to say it's
think
just something we have to accept and move
I
forward with
think it's
because
an issue that exists, but it depends how you look at it. But if I want to dig deeper beneath the surface and see what's the underlying force that drives this insecurity and confidence, is that as capitalism, as an ideology that drives the world, gets stronger, the regime that governs the world feeds off the economic machine works better if people consume more, which leads them to being more insecure about themselves.
yeah,
So the more that this system injects insecurity, the better that the economic machine functions. Because plastic surgery, luxury fashion consumption, whatever you do is a transaction made that encapsulates the regime.
yeah, yeah.
So from this point of view, it's not a problem from economic point of view. It gets the machine going.
Okay,
But at what cost? At humans' insecurity. So this is a debate that keeps going on, especially when you come from, because there's a huge contradiction between a holistic perspective and a purely economic perspective. So this is an ongoing thing, but this is how I see it, and I think this is where the issue stems from.
yeah. Um, I like your perspective on it. Leading past that, actually, I wanted to get your thoughts on where do you think this is going? This is my curiosity. Personally, again, my opinion only matters to me. I think it's going to get worse. Is the wrong, set of words, the wrong word to use, possibly. But I think it's going to lead further into this. Like Michael McIntyre, for example, made a really good joke, the comedian. He was like, the way it's, again, I'm butchering this, sorry, Mike. But he was like, you know, some people like wearing someone on a horse playing polo, some people like wearing a crocodile. I think like we're gonna reach a point where people just wear receipts on their t-shirt to say how much it costs. And I feel like that's the direction we're headed. It's like 10 years from now, maybe less, people are gonna walk into a party and like a flash or like a signal is gonna like come out and say like this costs £500 and that's it. Like maybe there's badges. There's like certain badges to say this is the different category. I don't know. Maybe even like someone like Ralph or Gucci will do this. They will like have their certain colors to say, look, if it's green and red, it's in this price category. But if it's blue and red, it's in that price category. You know, like black label, blue label. So
Yeah,
that's kind of one idea I have of where it's headed. It's like people straight up having their prices on their t-shirts. Where do you think it's headed?
I think it's like exactly the same thing. I think human values are abstracted in materials and what's what you can see at face value, basically, literally everything comes to face value. And I think there was few episodes of Black Mirror that, when we watch it, appears to be visionary or
Great show, man.
sci-fi, or but how I see it is a documentary. That's a documentary of where this is heading to. There was an
Yeah,
episode on Black Mirror that you put your phone on the person, it scans the person, it shows a rating of them about from one to
I've seen
five.
that episode.
So
Yeah,
imagine a human with all this infinite consciousness and whatever they have inside within, they're rated in between 1 to 5 stars. They're quantified in 5 stars, and that's exactly where we're heading to. It's a pessimistic view, but it's true. But I
China's
think,
already started on that. China's already got involved
yeah,
in stuff like that.
exactly, yeah, yeah. Apparently, there. I don't. This is not politics. This is what I read in the news. Apparently, uh, they're they have an agreement with Iran that they have systems in Iran that spies all this. Like they have cameras that records everything that happens there as well. Because
Yeah,
I don't want to get into that anyway. Because that's a whole
that's a
different.
different episode.
Yeah, that's not what something I know of. So I
Yeah,
rather not talk about it.
you can have an opinion though. It's fine.
Yeah.
We can save it for later. We can say I don't want to
Yeah,
push
but
on this.
the truth is I don't have an opinion on it. It's just
Okay.
what I heard on the news. So yeah,
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
All right. Well,
But that's where I think it's headed. I, Black Mirror is a. They say Matrix was a documentary. Now, in after 20 years from Matrix, I say some episodes of Black Mirror are metaphorically a documentary.
Matrix would be legit. Though. I mean, I would love to download Kung Fu with a USB onto my system, and that's something I definitely look forward to. Like ending on a positive note, I would love to reach that point where it's like, look, I want to learn salsa. All right, cool. Let me download the program on you. There you go. You can do salsa now. Like rather
Mhm.
than me having to go to all these lessons day in day out, which I haven't by the way.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I would really enjoy that kind of downloading show onto. At the same time, I would also hate it because you know me and I love the process. The process is the most beautiful part. Like
exactly.
especially when you start something. I love like whenever I'm new, like and you know me, I always like trying new things. So whenever I go to learn something and I'm a complete rookie, that is my favorite stage in things because you're like a baby, you know, like everything's fresh. You're learning all these different techniques about stuff. You're like, oh shit, you know, you go and research, you check out some videos of the pros. One thing I feel jumping into a different topic, for example, I've appreciated through sports, specifically football. Myself, you, and our social circle really love football, and football has done. By football, I mean soccer to my American friends. Um, it's done wonders for our lives. Like it's made me and you meet some of the closest friends we've had. You know, not just each other, but like people outside of our circles. It's brought friends together. It's built confidence. It's done so much. And one amazing thing it's done is, in addition to football, like probably through like fighting and other things, I really value the skill of masters in their discipline. So if I watch something that I have no clue on, like darts, for example, someone playing darts, um, for other people, they're like, okay, they're throwing darts. No, like some people, but when I watch it, it's like the first thing I try to do is I try and see, or I try and go and do it myself to see, okay, now I can appreciate how good the master is at what they do. That's one amazing thing I think you only experience by being a rookie and stuff, or not even a rookie, but like when you improve in things, you truly see the difference between how the pros do it and how someone that isn't a pro does it.
Mm.
I don't know how I jumped into that, but like shit, it's worth sharing. Like seeing people that are really good at what they do, it's one of my favorite things.
I think for me, that's something that makes life really beautiful. Like this experience is that the progress of whatever you do, of reaching a goal,
Yeah,
that process is what forms meaning in life. So I'm definitely really obsessed with that. Whether you acquire the skill yourself and able to express it through your own skills, or watch someone do something at its best. You know,
yeah,
like when I hear Eminem, the way he rhymes something with a level of mastery,
it's
or
ridiculous,
Messi
right?
or Messi dribble players so naturally as if he's born to do that. That's just beautiful to watch. Yeah, sometimes because sometimes
It's art.
yeah, sometimes I'm like, why do we have eyes when like we can sense much better? But these are the things that remind me, oh, as Yashar puts it, the optical illusion is worth it because of these skills, or doing
Absolutely,
something at the mastery level.
they hook you in, right? They like you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
things like this. When I really got into football, and I got into football late, it was actually, and I can't exaggerate this as much as I love Messi. I watched Ronaldinho play football, and I was in a trance. I fell in love with football. I was like, I need to go play this right now because how is it possible that one guy kind of has this effect on you? You're like, this is art. This is art. Same thing, same argument I make. My regret is that like a lot of our social circles don't appreciate the art of fighting as much. They
Mm.
don't have the same interest I did for it, which is a shame because that is the ultimate form of expression for me. Because like with football, you still have an extra object in there. You have the actual football. With fighting, it's the purest sport on the planet. So it's just you and your opponent, and it's survival. That's pure DNA shit from the caveman days. So I see that as art. You see someone that's um, like Lomachenko, who's a boxer, like the way it's like seeing a human being in the Matrix. You see people throw punches at him, and this guy's in the Matrix, and nothing's hitting him. He's like seeing things happen in slow motion. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. Or like something in the UFC, for example, you see someone that transcends. I love these characters that transcend beyond what they do. Conor McGregor is a great example. Cristiano Ronaldo in football is a great example. He's transcended, or even Messi actually. Like they both transcended beyond the sport. David Beckham, one of the original people that kind of transcended beyond the sport, kind of got into pop culture. So it's it's fascinating to see these kind of things, and if it doesn't push you to get involved and kind of do something, then there's something seriously wrong. But whether you're a fan or you want to just get motivated to get involved, I highly recommend, if you have time, whoever is watching this, to go check out like greats in different disciplines. American football right now. What's his name? Not what his name? Damn it.
Odell Beckham. That's the only guy I know
Yeah.
because it's Beckham.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name. He's one of the most famous people on the planet, but played for New England Patriots. Damn it. All right, never mind. Anyways, let's choose a different one. In acting, for example, Leo DiCaprio. Like
Or Day
he is.
Lewis.
Yeah, Daniel Day Lewis. These people transcend. It's so good to see someone kind of be so good at their craft. So if you ever want to be inspired and you feel like you've watched the same thing too much, I would highly recommend. If you're always used to watching, like, let's say you're into bodybuilding, you watch Ronnie Coleman videos or Phil Heath videos, and you get tired of watching the same people. It's like the same kind of idols you look up to kind of feel repetitive. Switch the field. Go to like, okay, I'm motivated today. but I'm gonna go watch Jamie Foxx. You want someone that can do stand-up comedy, that can sing, that can act. Can you get more talented than Jamie Foxx? That should motivate the shit out of you. Find these experts in different fields. So yeah, that's to whoever's listening, definitely go do that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with it? I feel really
Yeah,
inspired when I
definitely,
watch this stuff.
definitely. Definitely. I think always learning from people who are masters in different fields could make you feel better as well, because you grasp something that you never thought of before because you're too focused in your field. But when you see it, remember when we watched The Last Dance? That
Yes.
was like
Oh my god.
that
When
was
he,
like that was like a university course for me. Watching Michael Jordan, how
how did I
I
not
mean,
mention him?
I
By the
don't
way, he's the
understand.
guy.
I don't understand basketball. I'll be honest. I don't understand shit about basketball, but his motivation.
I'm finding the guy's name by the way. It's
Yeah.
probably
By the way, no, what was the other guy's name that I told you? He speaks really sophisticated.
Tom
That
Brady. Tom.
passed
Sorry,
away.
not that guy, but like the guy I was talking
Oh,
about is
okay.
Tom Brady. But who are you talking about?
The basketball player that recently passed away.
Kobe Bryant. Oh my god, man.
Oh, yeah, Kobe Bryant.
That one
I
really hit me, man.
watch. I watch his interview. There was a point of time I used to watch it every night before I sleep. And the thing is I really resonate with him. Like,
Mamba
there's
mentality.
yeah, he just wants to win, and he loves what he does so much that he appreciates life so much. And it's like, and the part that I really resonated with is like, people take vacations just to take vacations. I never did that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he says, when I finish my career, I don't want to look back and say, oh, I wish I did more.
Yeah.
That's like, from a basketball player. So my point is, it's amazing to watch people that are masters in their field, which is not necessarily yours.
Yeah. And I'm actually very excited to read the next book I'm going to read, suggested by one of my mentors,
Mhm.
which is Talent is Overrated. So I'm very keen on this because we've always had this idea of certain people are talented. Look, don't get me wrong. LeBron James is a physical specimen. You know, I'm born differently. He's obviously going to do much better in basketball than I am. But the argument is that like we think talent is there, but it's more repetition of work in something. And Kobe Bryant was a prime example of that. And I watch his videos quite often. I even watch his basketball videos. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I like seeing people compete in their sports and do well in their sports and kind of beat the struggles they have. And Kobe Bryant really, like, his death really made me upset. I didn't think I would give a shit so much about a celebrity dying, but it's like he's one of those people you thought was untouchable. It really really bothered me. And you know me, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan ever, but I loved Kobe as well.
Yeah,
It's just the competitive drive that he had was unreal, man. Like the
yeah,
story, I forgot the other player that said it, but there was a story which I've sent it to you, where the guy was really motivated. They had a game against the Lakers, and they show up. He shows up a few hours earlier, like 2 3 hours earlier before the game, to warm up, and then he sees Kobe in the gym already warming up.
yeah.
So he goes,
Sick.
starts warming up and like trains, practice, and he's like Kobe's like doing like hardcore drills. They're not like easy drills. Then when he's done, Kobe is still training. And then they go, they play the game, they get changed, they have the game. Kobe like kills at that game. And then after the game, he goes up to Kobe and he's like, dude, I need to ask you, like, what's driving you? Like, because you were here before me, after me, what's driving you to do this? And he's like, because I saw you come in. Like, I wanted you to know that whatever you do, I'm going to do it better than you or more than that shit. Like, it hit me, man. I was like, you can apply that to anything. If you're working in marketing, if you're, I don't know, a legal associate or something, you can apply that mindset to anything. It's and it sounds nice when I say it. It sounds nice when you watch a video. It's a consistency that wins. So yeah, I suppose
Exactly.
another
Definitely.
nugget, man. We've gone into like 10 different directions. Really enjoy this. So
Likewise.
this was the first episode. I expect to do plenty more specifically with you because we have so many different ideas on different
Yeah.
stuff. But thank you for giving me your time. And
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
having me as your first guest, the first
yeah, man.
episode.
This is just the
Means a
beginning.
lot.
Cheers.
Means a
It's
lot.
been a long week, and I'm looking forward to not thinking about
Cheers.
work today.
Can I do a little promotion of myself to your audience
Of course.
prior to saying goodbye? So, I have whoever is watching this, especially if you got to this stage of the podcast,
Listen
then
up, freaks.
you follow Darius on SoundCloud and Instagram. Darius Farabi on LinkedIn can connect with, and subscribe to me and my friend's channel, Chemical Reactors.
I will link everything at the bottom of the video in the description. Darius actually has another cool YouTube, what do you call it, a project or a podcast or a review channel?
No, it's a reaction. We do reactions to Persian rap.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, at the moment it's Persian rap, but because my friend is more into tech house. Is that right? Is it tech house? House music, yeah. So he's.
I'm the same, by the way. So.
Yeah. So the thing is, if this goes well, but the thing is, we're both busy doing our own things. But whenever we get time, this is what we do. So we want to grow on YouTube as well. So Chemical Reactors, at the moment we react to Persian hip hop, but we will hopefully broaden our music genre to house as well. So
nice.
It would make a balance, and we could get to more people as well.
Nice.
And I'm recently I've been listening to a lot. Yeah, I'm really enjoying house a lot, like the past year, and now it helps me. Like we were just talking about listening to different fields, how knowing about the basketball player could help you in your own field. Yeah. It's just the same with music. When you listen to house and I listen to hip hop beats, I hear it much better because it's too simple. So it's crazy. Anyway, so that's all I had to say for now. But we'll probably bother you in more episodes. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
I'm gonna send you a documentary you're gonna like, by the way. It's on Netflix. Before we go,
okay.
I forgot the name. I'll send it to you. I'll probably link it in this in the bio as well for whoever wants to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it highlights, like, just in the house music world, it highlights the two different aspects of house. So you've got Carl Cox, which his style of DJing. I mean, he's been a resident in Ibiza for like what 15, 20. Like Space Ibiza was like one of the biggest clubs in Ibiza, and Carl Cox was like the resident for what 10, 15 years. His style of DJing, you know, he would go do like a 7-hour set straight, you know, non-stop. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have someone like Martin Garrix, who's like pure electro house, and like the young people love him. And, you know, it's got like that kind of beat to it. So you got the two different aspects of it, and they come together and you see the difference of it. And as much as like electro house was something that we liked when we were 16, and then I personally thought was shit afterwards, now I appreciate it because it's like it's good for that moment, that kind of age group that you're in. Or even if like you get older and you like electro house, fair enough. Like now I like tech house. Now most people my age that I know also like tech house. It's more chill, you can have a conversation, or you feel the music better, and it's not like so constant fist pumping. But this documentary kind of shows both aspects of it and the different types of DJs and the kind of discussions the DJs have about, you know, like there's certain DJs like David Guetta who goes and just plugs a USB in, and then there's someone like Carl Cox who goes and like is legit actively working the full set. So I'll send you the documentary. I feel like I've already explained the whole thing. It's really good. Thank you for your time, and
thank you.
Yeah, we'll have more episodes on this.
Sure.
All right, take care, mate.
Take care. See you.
Bye.